Hello, my name is Deandra Billings and I am a nurse educator. I have developed my project over our staff moving from a work out of the office status to a virtual remote status, working from home and telemedicine. And basically, this presentation is to provide guidance to our staff to work from home. It was developed for them to maintain productivity and safety while they're working from a home environment. So our objectives that we would like to meet today are to explain the definition of working from home. I want to provide safety instructions while in a work from home status. I also want to describe the roles and responsibilities while we're working from home. We want to describe preceptor requirements when in a work from home status, discuss departmental standards and expectations, what's expected of our staff per department while we're working from home, explain self accountability. We all need to be accountable for our own productivity and for our own work ethics and goals. Also, explain the process of requesting time out, PTO, and explain the importance of effective communication while working in a work from home environment. So the purpose of this presentation is basically we want to maintain staff safety. We also want to maintain required equipment and security. It is important for us to uphold Cook Children's Health Plan standards as outlined by the state. We want to understand departmental and role expectations that we are required to maintain. And then also the members' quality of care is so important and vital that we're maintaining the members' quality of care when we're in a work from home status. And last but not least, we want to eliminate any potential concerns or issues that may occur while we're in a work from home status. So as a service coordinator or a case manager, you are responsible for providing effective, equitable, respectful, and quality of care. The standards of care must be maintained while we're in a work from home status. Our work ethics do not change. The goal of this presentation is to ensure that all staff are safe and have required education necessary to prepare for the transition to work from home in a full-time status. All of our personnel, they must be able to perform their job effectively while maintaining productivity and quality of care. So what exactly does work from home mean? The definition of work from home is to do one's job in one's house and not in an office building. Working from home can also mean working while you're traveling or telecommuting. It is approved once you're working with Children's Health Plan. This is now our new normal. So it's approved by our supervisors and directors, and you're working from home. This is your new job. This is our new job function. This is our new normal with healthcare is telemedicine and virtual care. So staff safety, let's discuss staff safety. So some of the safety guidelines that we want to maintain are, we always want to make sure we have a separate workspace, avoid any hot or cold or damp spaces. We have to ensure that we have adequate air movement. We want to check the area for smoke detectors. We always want to make sure we're safe and that we have safety measures in place. It's important to look at your electrical circuits to make sure that the power sources are available for your work computers and all of your electronics. We do not want to use any household extensions. Make sure we have a work approved extension, and we want to place cords safely to prevent anyone from tripping or falling while we have them out at home. There are lighting requirements that we want to maintain. Normal room lighting should be adequate for visual comfort. We want to reduce the amount of light that is directly on the computer screen. Also, we want to place the computer screen perpendicular to the outside lights or use shades or blinds if we need them to prevent too much light from reflecting from the computer screen. And we want to use task light if we need additional lighting. Okay, for our work surfaces, we want to make sure we are maintaining a minimum dimension of 48 inches long and 30 inches deep as far as our work area space. We need to make sure that we have enough support equipment available. We have to ensure the height can be adjusted from 24 to 28 inches. It needs to be an adjustable height. If it's non-adjustable, then you want to make sure it's between 26 and 27 inches, and that's a safe height. While seated, you want to always make sure your elbows are even to your home row keys to ensure ergonomically sound placement of your arms while you're working. And you want to have a supportive chair. It's very important that we use a chair that supports our arch. Always have your shoulders relaxed and in a neutral position. And have your arms, your upper arms, they should be near your side or the sides of your body, and your wrists, keep them always neutrally aligned. They should not touch the surface edge whenever you're using the mouse or the keyboard. So just keep that in mind. Here's an example of a picture that I found. Can you identify a problem with this picture? Okay, from the picture, it appears that this person is sitting on a couch or sitting in a bed. They have a laptop on their lap instead of on a desktop surface, and they are basically working in a position that's not safe for them. So we want to try not to work on a couch or in a bed or a surface that's not ergonomically sound. Okay, here's our next example. What do you see in this picture? Okay, it's pretty much the same thing. It appears that this person may be sitting on the bed. Yes, they have their glasses, they have their phone, they have their computer. However, it's still not ergonomically sound to be working from home in the bed. And it appears that they may have on their pajamas even. So we just want to make sure that we are working in a good, safe environment. Are there any issues that you can identify with this photo? Okay, from the photo, it appears that this person, they're in a good work environment. They have a desk. The computer is sitting on the desk. They have everything they need. It looks like they even have some tea for caffeine. However, you can see that their arm is propped up. It appears it's propped up on a book. So it's not, their wrists are not in a neutral alignment. So that's the only concern that I can identify from this photo. What about this photo? Is there anything you can identify that might be a concern or that may be concerning? Yes, I see the mother, her back is against a pole, the baby's laying flat. So she's trying to attend to the child while she's working. And the child is sleeping. However, childcare is not a substitute. While you're working from home, you cannot take care of your child. You do have to work. So we want to make sure that we do have adequate child care while we're working from home, especially when we have small children who need our time and our attention. And here the baby is actually playing on the computer while mom is working. And yes, they are adorable and they're super cute, but we want to make sure that we are working and that we have a safe environment to work in and that the child is being taken care of properly while we're working from home. Okay, let's talk about the desktop and telecom requirements that we need. We need to make sure we have a desktop, a wired desktop, or a wireless laptop. It's important to have a docking station. We want to have a monitor or 2 monitors if required, a keyboard. We need to have a headset or soft phone. And if we need assistance, call IT to set up the soft phone once you've received it, because the soft phone will make your life easier. It is very high tech. You can use it from home. It's not wired in, it's wireless. So it's very convenient. So equipment that's not provided, so they will not be providing scanners. Mobile scanners are provided for travelers only. So if you do travel, you will receive a mobile scanner. However, if you don't, you will not have a mobile scanner. Printers will not be provided and fax machines will not be provided. Okay, let's talk about desktop safety. So desktop safety is very, very important. We want to always monitor we want to monitor our position and make sure that our eyes are approximately 20 to 26 inches away from the screen at all times. We want to make sure the top of the screen is slightly below eye level. And we want to always make sure the keyboard is placed directly in front of us. It's very important that it's in a comfortable position and alignment. All of our supplies that we'll be working with throughout the day should be within reaching distance. We don't want to have to hyperextend or overreach to get something that we need or have to actually step away or out of the room to get supplies. So we want to just make sure that everything that we need is in the area. Any document holders that we have, they should be placed at the same height or the same distance as the monitors. So we want to make sure that the supplies that we have, including the file folders, are placed at a comfortable level. Can you identify any desktop pros and cons from this picture that we have regarding this workstation? Okay, well, some of the pros are the computer screen looks like it is at the correct level. The keyboard also looks like it's at leveled. Also, I see the mouse is at an appropriate level. They have a light source, an additional light source. Looks like they may be working from that document at the computer desk. The chair looks like an ergonomically sound chair, so it looks safe and that it would be quite comfortable while working from home. The only con that I really see in this picture is that the printer is very high. So the staff member will have to stand up to reach to get the documentation off the printer. So that is one con that I did notice. But other than that, it looks like they have all their supplies on the desk in an area where they can be reached easily. Let's talk about body mechanics. Body mechanics is very important because we always want to make sure that we are in the comfortable seating position, especially when we'll be working from home. We'll be working for several hours. We will have to take some breaks. However, we want to make sure that we're comfortable while we're working. So we want to make sure our shoulders, hips, and ears are vertically aligned. Always have your chair back. Make sure that it supports the arch in your back and it supports your lumbar. Shoulders should always be relaxed and in a neutral position. Your arms always near your body. Upper arms should be near your body. Your forearms should be parallel to the floor. Always keep your wrist in neutral alignment, as we noted before, and your forearms and wrists should not contact the work surface edge. This is very important when you're working with the mouse and with the keyboard. So what is our service coordinator's role? Their role is basically to make sure that we continue member outreach, continuity of care. They have to complete their individual service plans. They also have to monitor and maintain important timelines, such as submitting SIAs, uploading ISPs, updating ISPs, and ISP follow-up for discharge. Please also see the Star Kids important timelines for a complete list of all the requirements for service coordinators in case management role. Additional information is faxing personnel service authorizations to the primary care office. They also have to schedule members' telephone screenings. Resources for the member LAR, they have to follow up within 7 business days to provide adequate resources. They're required to do consults, and they should follow up within 1 business day of the request, 1 business day of the request. Discharge follow-up should always be done within 1 day of the request. Caseload spreadsheets will always be maintained and updated by the service coordinator, and documentation is necessary to maintain continuity of members' care. So always remember, and this is something I learned in nursing school, if it's not documented, then it didn't happen. It's very important that we document everything and all of our functions that we do in our role. So a typical work day, a combination of follow-up visits and calls. We want to do at least 2 SAIs for telephonics or teleconference visits and a minimum of 8 telephonic contacts. So another example you can do is to schedule and completed SIAs, 1 SIA and 2 face-to-face follow-ups, or 2 telephonic or teleconference visits and 4 telephonic contacts. So those are 2 examples of what your workday should look like. Information that's required for documentation. So when you contact our members or you reach out to our members, you want to follow up and make sure you document who was contacted, what phone number you contacted the person at, a detailed discussion note of what you discussed during that call, response to the call, like what was your reaction or response, what did you do after the phone call, and what was your plan going forward after the phone call. A supervisor's role, however, is basically after discharge, follow-up from Beacon Health, they need to be sent to the appropriate team member. So if we have someone who has a mental health or substance abuse issue or concern, we want to make sure that they're getting the care that they need with our Beacon Health support. So we want to ensure that the follow-up is being conducted, support the staff with questions or concerns. This is very, very important that we support our staff, review Kronos requests and SharePoint calendars to make sure that the relief requests are being reviewed and that they're being approved. And also, like I said, the calendars are important because it helps the supervisors know what you're doing on a daily basis. So it's the supervisor's role to review the SharePoint calendars and just to make sure that the members are being taken care of. Additional administrative duties, forms, mileage reimbursements have to be reviewed by the supervisor. Approval of team members' attendance to conference or seminars, and reports past due, SIAs, review of individual caseloads from master report, and then a review, and they have to review and assign any pending cases. So the supervisor is responsible for assigning those cases and ensuring those cases are being reviewed by our employees, our service coordinators, and our case managers. Supervisors also have to support the onboarding of new team members. They have to conduct team meetings, one-on-one meetings, PACE reviews, caseload changes, escalations, fair hearings and assessments, and also special projects. They are responsible for any special projects provided by the manager or the director. So just basically monitoring those projects and ensuring that they're completed. The supervisors are also responsible for auditing through service level audit tools, one-on-one meetings. They have to do monthly audits if the team member is performing at 70% or less. They have to do bi-monthly audits if the team member is performing between 71 and 90%, and quarterly audits if the team member is performing at 90% or higher. The supervisor also will collaborate with the team member to develop a plan of action if any deficiencies are identified. The supervisor manager will determine if the team member requires additional guidance or support. And site visits may be conducted by the supervisor just to ensure that the service coordinator or the case manager doesn't need any further assistance or guidance, or just to give them the support that they need, because the supervisors, they're there to support the service coordinators and the case managers and to help them do their job as effectively as possible. So online report time. The online report time is 8 a.m. It's the same as if you were in the office. Nothing really changes. If you're not able to log in at 8 a.m. for uh, any reason, please contact your supervisor. Your supervisor will be able to help you and make sure that you're accounted for. If your internet system is down or your computer system's not working, you don't have access, please notify your supervisor and they'll give you guidance or directions and let you know what your next steps are. You know, if you need to come to work or if you need to file for PTO, they'll give you directions. Maintain your regular work schedule. Your new normal is working from home. This is the position that you work in. So therefore, the same process that you would use at work, use that same process at home. But it's just more important to communicate effectively with your supervisor and let them know your status, just so that they can be there to support you and help you throughout this transition process. So, your documentation requirements. Document in the case management application tool. We have a new system, Tapestry. Everyone's aware of Tapestry, and this system is our new documentation tool. We want to make sure that everyone has the training required so that they can work successfully in remote status. So, by any means, if you don't feel like you understood the training the first time, or if you need an additional training, or if you would like to retake the training, please reach out to your supervisor and they'll make arrangements for you to take the class again. Um, the documentation that's required must be reported for any contact with any member, attempted contact with any member. Appointment cancellations is so vital to document the details of any appointment cancellation and note the cause of cancellation. We want you to please keep up with your work schedule, your calendars, and your day-to-day activity, just to have at least a weekly activity list of what you did and what was accomplished. If you didn't have anything that week, we just want to make sure that there's nothing that your supervisor or your manager or director needs to do to help you. So if you're having any problems at all, please inform your supervisor of any issues, concerns, or delays that may be experienced at home or while working in the home environment. Remember that all documentation must be noted and documented within 1 business day. If it wasn't documented, it did not happen. So just make sure we maintain that documentation. Log in online on time. We want to make sure we are effectively communicating. Update our calendars to reflect daily schedules. Monitor caseload and the timelines to make sure that our work is being done in the appropriate time frame. You want to provide a timely response to any inquiries that you may receive. Maintain productivity. It's so important to maintain productivity and self-accountability. Our supervisors and managers and directors' plates are full. They work really hard just to take care of us and make sure that we are getting the support that we need. So let's just be self-accountable. Let's be accountable for ourselves and make sure that we are maintaining our productivity and self-accountability. And if we're having any concerns or any issues, that we're reaching out and effectively communicating with our supervisors to let them know the concerns or issues that we may be experiencing. And then last but not least, please maintain the quality of care. When we transition to work from home status or the staff transitions, we will be, the supervisors, actually not myself, but the supervisors will be following up and they'll be doing evaluations. And it's just important just to maintain your productivity so you have a great evaluation and that you are within their 90 percentile higher and you are reviewed quarterly, because like I said, this is your new normal, this is your job. We want you to do the best that you can in your position. So some of the department expectations while you're working in this status for the team, it's just work your regular schedule and regular work hours. Attend regularly scheduled meetings via conference, Zoom, or Skype. Take scheduled breaks and meal times. I can't express enough how important it is to sometimes just take a 10-minute break to get a snack, to rest your eyes, to use the restroom. Just take some breaks, take a lunch break. I know a lot of times when we work from home, we forget to take breaks because we're at home. So we may have had a little snack for breakfast and we're not thinking about taking lunch. Please take a lunch, please take a break and make sure we're taking those mental breaks too, because it's really difficult to work 8 hours straight with no breaks. So please make sure that you maintain your breaks. Schedule time for performance effective reviews. Make sure that you have time set aside on your calendar, and then notify Cook Children's Health Plan for any injuries that occur. If anything happens to you at home during your work time, please note and document that, and then notify your supervisor so that they're aware. And working from home is, like I said, not a substitute for childcare. Always make sure that we have a backup plan. So if our childcare falls through for an unknown reason or unexpected reason, we should always have a plan B to be able to take our child to make sure that they're still receiving the care that they need. We want to make sure our children are taken care of, and it's hard to focus when you're thinking about your child or thinking that they're not being taken care of, or that they need you. So let's just make sure that there's always a backup plan. And last but not least, your salary is the same, your work location is different. However, we want to just maintain the quality of care that's being provided and maintain your productivity, because when you're in a work from home status, maintaining your productivity and self accountability is solely on you. It's your responsibility. So just make sure we're maintaining that. And last but not least, work from home is not a vacation. It's not a vacation. We would all love to be on vacation right now, especially due to COVID-19 and how stressed a lot of us have been due to the pandemic. However, we need to focus. We have to take care of our members first, and we need to take care of ourselves. And if we need to follow up to get help, if you need EAP services, please seek those services that you need, especially during this time. We want to make sure that you are taken care of first and foremost, and that your safety, your well-being, your health, and mental health are all well. Like I said, self accountability. It's just checking your equipment, your software, make sure your computer functions and that you can do all of your job functions. Make sure you have internet access. Work a full schedule. Make sure you're working your full 8 hours. We want to maintain strong performance productivity measures, caseload management. Contact your supervisor if you have any concerns or you feeling overwhelmed or getting too many caseloads. Follow up with your supervisor and they'll be able to help you. Protect your equipment and data from any unauthorized access. We are held to the confidentiality of our members, so we need to make sure that their information is being held confidential and that it's private information. It's not being shared with anyone that it's not supposed to be. If we're unsure of a task or a requirement, if you don't know, you're not quite sure, ask for clarification. It doesn't hurt to ask for clarification just to make sure you're doing the correct procedure or the correct job. PTO, paid time off request. Okay, PTO does not change. PTO is still the same. So while you're working from home, you still submit your PTO request in Chronos for time off. You'll submit them for vacation, travel, or for illness. Your manager will still have to approve it. They will request, or you were requested, and then they'll review it depending on the type of request and the work schedule, the workload, expectations, job performance. They'll decide, what needs to be done or get someone to stand in for you. Just follow up with your supervisor on any PTO requests or questions that you may have. Level one preceptors. Our level one preceptors are responsible for assisting with onboarding and general questions, entering authorizations, general ISP questions, training topics, to update, maintain the calendar, assist other team members that require assistance. They can shadow new and current employees with SIAs and face-to-face visits. And they can also collaborate with level 2 and 3 preceptors for training and education. However, our level 1 preceptors are not responsible for eligibility questions, provider coverage of members, but only when service coordinators are on leave, they will provide coverage for members. And then they do not respond to emails that are copied to the supervisor, manager, director. It's just for their information. Effective communication. I cannot express this enough. Update your calendar. Update your calendar according to your schedule. That's the best way to communicate. This prevents any miscommunications or misunderstanding. All you have to do is update your calendar, and then your supervisor can look at your calendar and see what your current status is, what you're currently working on, or if you're having, like I said, any concerns or issues, just voice your concerns to your supervisor. Make any updates or changes to your calendar as necessary during the week. If something changes or if you had several cancellations, follow up on other tasks. Have a new schedule for that day or for that week. To discuss any performance questions or concerns, you can do that during your one-on-one with your supervisor. If you're having any difficulties while working, you can talk to your supervisor. Explain any potential shortfalls or discrepancies that you're experiencing. And it's so important. This is the last item. However, it's the most important item, and that's to set realistic goals if a task is time sensitive. You have to set realistic goals, and if you cannot complete the task by the desired time frame, then you just need to follow up with your supervisor and explain to them why you can't complete the task, and let them know that you need extended time to complete that task, and they'll be willing to work with you. Communication. Effective communication is the key, and that will help you be successful while working from home. I hope I've answered any of your questions. However, if you have any further questions, please feel free to place your question in the comments. I've really enjoyed you today, and I'll be willing to answer any questions or concerns that you have. I appreciate your time. Have a great day.